I think that's the hottest interview in town now if anyone can get
Yeah,
it.
there's like PM Wong.
Pritam Singh, whatever.
The driver who fell into the sinkhole. Wow.
What did you see? How did it feel?
Yeah, that's like a one of one. I don't think there's been a driver who has fallen into a sinkhole in Singapore before.
correct.
After hearing the appeal from SMRT, they have reduced it to 2.4 million Singapore dollars.
You reduce the amount, but the optics of it just come out so much more worse. Why even bother to reduce the amount if it's going to be just by such a small amount, right?
So Jeffrey Xiao is busy. Can you imagine like Friday, I just want to enjoy my weekend.
Yeah.
Saturday, it is on, boom.
And then Sunday, invite from Yalabat to come podcast. Wow.
So if you've been listening to us for a while, you know that we launched a podcast creation workshop recently. Now this is a full one-day workshop happening from day to night, conducted by Terence and I, and happening on 2 dates, 15th and 16th August. So Terence, why should people even think about coming for this workshop?
I mean, this is really us taking everything we've learned. And, it reached a pinnacle, during the GE 2025 as well, right? When our podcast really was quite at the forefront of people talking about important national issues. So we are just taking everything we've learned from these 5 years and culminating in that experience and trying to just show other people what is possible with a podcast as well. And so it's really coming from the horse's mouth and no one else.
Yeah, and covering all the mistakes we've made in the past. Because Yalabat is the second iteration of this podcast. First one was didn't go anywhere. But I think it's also because now podcast is like this new sexy format. Everybody is going to want to create their own podcast. And right now, even from us, right, we try and learn about podcasting. How do we learn? There's a lot of just digging on all these corners of the web. So we are just trying to put together what we have learned. And this covers everything, like from how to even think about starting a podcast, how to think about what to talk about, how to think about a name, how to think about the tone. Is it going to be funny, serious, and everything. So our promise is that if you come, even if you've never even touched anything related to starting a podcast, but you think this is something you want to experiment, by the end, right, you'll be able to have your own podcast on Spotify.
Yeah, so it's really not just about the hardware, but also the software side of things, right? Like even 500 episodes in, like what then? How do you think about it?
But what do you mean by software?
So it's really, existential things like what is your voice? What's the point of your podcast? What are you trying to say to people? And how do you, keep a community going around your podcast? I think these are all things that actually took us nearly 700 episodes to finally come to terms with and have a handle on, right?
And just how to have a conversation, how to meet someone for the first time, maybe you've never met before, and actually go into the conversation.
And even working across different types of personalities. I think you and I are very different. You're obviously the extrovert and I'm a bit more introverted.
Hey, please, I'm also introverted in many ways, okay? Don't just anyhow label me, Terence.
Yeah. But whoever you think, as a person and a member of the audience, like, we have very different personalities.
True.
And we will address that as well. Like, how do you, take the best aspects of your personality and make it work for your podcast?
Yeah. So if you want to find out more, I think we just had 2 slots available. It's 1 day per for the workshop happening 15th or 16th. And you can find out more info at yalabat.com. Registration ends this Sunday. So please check it out. If you have any questions, you can DM us. But if you join us, it'll be great because you can meet us face to face, meet our team, see our studio because it'll be conducted right here.
And now onto the podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about hottest news with a touch of what, Terence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man. How was the weekend, man?
Not bad. We finally managed to partake in the Singapore World Aquatics Championships together, right?
Yeah.
What event did we watch?
The high diving. Yeah, high diving. And I always thought high diving would be like 10 meters, which is really damn high. Yeah. This is 27 meters.
Yeah. And for context, that's about 9 stories tall. If you take each story to be about 3 meters. Right?
Yeah.
So imagine, diving off a 9-story building and then into a pool of water.
Yeah, 6 meters deep.
Yeah.
And it's insane. Like, you watch it, like one slip, really, they can die.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing to watch it on this structure, which has also been erected just for this competition.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, it was on Sentosa. And unlike it's not the same as the, the synchronized swimming event that I went to last week. Because this one, the structure is clearly temporary, right? It's poles, metal poles and everything. but it's really, really tall. And it really just sits next to the Sentosa Beach Station car park.
Yeah.
So I was very shocked because it's literally you park and then after you walk out and it's there. It's right there. You are attending a world-class event, a world-class championship event right there outside the car park.
At first, I thought they chose Sentosa because it's the bungee jump thing.
Yeah. I
Then
thought bungee
like...
jump. Then if not bungee jump, then I thought they were in the middle of the sea, there would be something, right?
Yeah, I also thought it would be that little bay, you know?
Yeah.
But then, I mean, after you think about it, you're like, okay, that doesn't make sense. The bungee jump is also 60 plus meters. So it's very different. But this one was, to see them do that, jump, twist and all, do handstand on the platform and then flip is insane.
Yeah. And I'm glad that, some Singaporeans got to enjoy the spectacle. Because the funny thing is that a lot of people congregated around the arena or the split. I won't even call it arena, right? I would call it like the pool and the tower. But they weren't like inside. They weren't inside watching the thing. They were just watching from outside because it's so high.
It's so high.
Then from the car park, you could watch it already. There were photographers and everything's camping at the car parks watching the event itself. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's insane. Apart from that, how else was the weekend?
Good. I mean, did the usual parenthood things. Went to the zoo and everything again. And also, I was part of this panel, the Nimbus, the independent media panel that was ongoing at the projector, Golden Mile. And it was quite interesting because in attendance were all the major players from the opposition political parties. I saw Dr. Chi, I saw Dr. Paul Tambaya, I saw Dr. Leong Man Wai. I saw, Andre Loh from the Workers' Party as well.
Yeah.
Jeremy Tan, independent candidate. That's already 5, And then aside from that, I saw a lot of people who have been on a podcast before, like Cherry and George. Walid was on the panel. Sudhir was there, and a lot of political opinion leaders, I can say POLs.
So fun time,
I mean, it felt like a postscript to the GE 2025. Like people who were there listening to the panel were looking for answers, like where does Singapore go from here?
So like a therapy session,
post-credit sequence, I would say.
Post-credit sequence.
If you think about GE as like the main movie, right? This was like the post-credit sequence where you suddenly see all these people. And I spoke a little bit to Leong Man Wai, and his new team in PSP as well. So that was, again, like suddenly I was reminded of how that is quite recent, actually, the GE 2025, and how people are still unpacking what happened from it.
Yeah. And I mean, for people who might not even be aware that such things happen, this is the second year where we're involved. And it's the Independent Media Festival, right?
Yeah.
And this year it was held at Golden Mile.
At
the
projector.
Yeah. Projector. Right. So, I mean, those sort of things do happen in Singapore. So yeah. I mean, while you were there, I was also doing my own national service.
Oh, yes.
Because, I'm going to be hosting the SAFRA NDP the party at the Bayfront event space.
This is the pinnacle of being a Singapore media personality.
No, but pinnacle is NDP.
Okay, NDP is the pinnacle.
Yeah, that's Rishi. Yeah, Rishi still one up me.
You're still a step below.
Yeah, but I mean, it was funny because we make fun of Rishi for hosting NDP.
Yeah.
But then now I'm also doing what's up, Singapore?
Oh yeah, I think you're talented at that kind of catchphrase kind of thing, right?
The catchphrase
hosting.
I mean, it's a nice experience. And to be honest, I saw the NDP preview, right?
Yes. What do you mean you saw the NDP preview?
As in, because we are hosting it in parallel with NDP.
So it's like a live. There was a live stream.
Yeah. So there are events before. Then the moment the NDP starts, it's live stream.
Yeah.
And then after that, there's some music performances and all at the Bayfront event space. So I mean, I see all these families come and so nice. And then the NDP, I don't think it's just because I'm a bit more involved this year than last year. Yeah. But I actually thought I like it more this year than I did last year.
Like what?
The parade.
Okay.
Yeah, the parade. The songs are very nice.
Yeah. So you stood up and said the pledge.
Oh, yeah. Of course. I am proud to be Singaporean, Derek.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is, we are listening to a podcast where two people, we had on opposite ends of the spectrum, right? One guy is a patriot at NDP, literally saying the pledge. Another one is cavorting with like opposition leaders appearing in their photos and all. And then who gets accused to be the PAP dog here?
In
right?
true Yalabat fashion, I was wearing white, no, Terrence, at Bayfront Event Space talking about how awesome Singapore is, and you were doing a pseudo opposition rally.
Yeah.
At the same time.
At the same time.
At the same time, literally.
Yeah. That's why I didn't hear from you for hours. I think you were just so into it. You just
my hand was stuck on my upper left chest the whole time.
And you just sank right into that role of like, wow, let's rah around the nation.
That was me on Saturday. And it'll be me this Saturday and the following Saturday as well.
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome, Terrence. You're welcome. Yalabat even on the weekends, man.
Correct.
But yeah, I mean, for those of you who attended or who might be attending those shows, you will see a familiar face on stage.
Who else is
It's a Safra event.
Yeah, so who else is hosting
my co-host Arabelle Chia. So there needs to be a Chia in my life at all times.
Arabelle, isn't it? Arabelle's a name.
Yeah, she's been an MC for like 20, 30 years already.
Isn't Arabella, or is it Farabella is the horse, right?
Maybe. But Arabelle Chia, an MC, presenter, live host.
Okay, Falabella horse. That's like the I think it's a small, very very small, cute horse. Falabella,
the toy horse.
So Arabelle, okay, Arabelle is the name.
Arabelle
Chia. I don't want to mix up the thing.
Yeah.
Arabelle Chia. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Well, I'm very glad for that you had such a life-changing NDP experience.
I mean, my life is going to be changed this Saturday once more. So
the actual NDP itself?
Yeah, why?
You'll be doing it also lah.
Yeah, on the day itself.
Okay, so this is every weekend until...
Yeah, so there's another preview show this Saturday, then 9th August will be the day. And I mean, where we are at, actually can see the fireworks quite nicely.
Where's your event at?
You know the Red Dot Museum?
Yes.
Right next to it, where there's like the gastro beats, the event. So that open space, there's Mr. Ringo, which is the theme park. You know Mr. Ringo?
Temporary.
Yeah, Mr. Ringo is the temporary theme park. Yeah. We are right next to it. Where I mean,
it's Uncle Ringo.
Uncle Ringo. Mr. Ringo. Uncle Ringo.
Oh, he's so formal. Mr. Ringo.
Mr. Ringo.
Uncle Ringo.
Yeah, it's right next to that because I think they're expecting up to 5,000 people.
Oh, that space. The weekend before this, I went to MBS. I think I saw them setting up for that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's right there. Oh,
up to 5,000 people, no, Terrence.
Wow.
My patriotism is going to be overflowing. No?
Yeah. Wow, not bad. Wow, you do Happy Ever Laughter, almost 1,000 people. This one now 5,000
people.
You really hit the pinnacle of almost the pinnacle.
Whereas you were like in a dark room with all the opposition.
All brooding about the future of Singapore, brooding, where do we go from here? Then there you are, I know where we're going! Singapore, come on!
SG100, everyone!
Hey, this just tells you pretty much what Yalabat is around.
Exactly,
Someone needs to be the butt in the narrative.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
Yes.
Wearing white. But yeah, cool, man. Some other interesting stuff happened over the weekend, which we will get into.
Yeah.
But before that, what's the spiel, Terrence?
If you're new here, and I think a lot of you are new here because you might have heard of us from recent episodes like the one with Ho Kwon Ping, which I think is picking up quite a bit of steam. But if you're new here, please like, share, follow, subscribe because there's a lot more interesting nuggets of knowledge that you can glean when you listen to our podcast in full on our YouTube or Spotify channels, right?
Yeah, man. And if you want to work with us, you can just reach out to us at ministryoffunny.com or email us at contact@ministryoffunny.com. Yeah. To everyone who sent an email, just give us some time to respond. If you have an interesting idea, brand collaboration or we will get back to you. Cool, man. All right. So the first topic. This one, I think it really captivated Singapore.
Yeah, everyone is just sharing videos about it.
Everyone. And it is the case of the curious sinkhole that first appeared on 26 July, that's Saturday, at about 6 p.m., I believe. And I mean, like, I don't know when you first started seeing videos, but I saw it shortly after. And honestly, the one video that most people may have seen is the one from, I think, someone's house overlooking a sinkhole with water flowing and like half a car visible.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was a fake video.
Yeah. A lot of people, I think online people are saying that is it AI, right?
Yeah. Because I mean, it looked, it's not too difficult to imagine. You know, you just take a video of a road and then you artificially insert a sinkhole, then you artificially insert a car. But I mean, the way I confirmed it initially, I think was on Reddit.
Yeah.
I saw people sharing it and no one saying, hey, this is a video from 2002 or something like that. And then the article started appearing.
Yeah. I mean, for me, was when the dash cam of the car behind, the video of the car behind was published, I think on various platforms, like Wake Up Singapore, all that. That's when I realized, okay, this is like pretty serious and it's real, right?
And it happened while you were on one side of Singapore in the pseudo-opposition rally, and while I was at the thing.
My thing will happen in the afternoon. So
this was about
5:50. So mine was really after. Yeah.
Very, very eventful, but I mean, yeah, the more we have seen things emerge. I mean, by this morning, I believe the whole pavement has been backfilled.
Yes.
And I mean, the road is still closed. But basically what happened was a car fell in. I think most people have seen that dashcam video of the car behind the car that fell in. There was one woman who was rescued quite shortly after by some heroic construction workers. I believe she's still in the hospital, but not fatally injured, thankfully.
Yeah.
I think just muscular pain around the shoulder area. Yeah. And I mean, since then, there have been a lot of statements put out by the MPs. Go Pei Ming. Go Pei Ming, who is Marine Parade MP, addressed the media. Go Se Ki from Mountbatten SMC also addressed the media. There have been a lot of articles talking about how sinkhole forms, what the PUB is doing, what was actually the cause or what was the damage of the sinkhole. I think the cause is still being investigated. But I mean, like, as these things unfolded, right, what was going through your mind?
I think the shocking one really was seeing the video.
The dashcam one.
The dashcam video. Because I think the aftermath, the car and then the water, it doesn't really show you how scary the situation was.
Yeah.
But when you watch the dashcam video and you see how the car just inches out because it's like, it's turning into a larger road. It inches out and then suddenly it just it starts to lean to the left, then the floor underneath collapses and then just rolls into the hole, right?
Yeah.
And you just
fully out of sight, right?
Yeah, fully out of sight. And you just imagine as a driver how disorienting that must feel. Like you are trying to, not say cut traffic, but like filter into a lane, and then you're looking out for things, and suddenly you're probably just tipping over like 90 degrees and then after 180. And it's just very disconcerting, because I think I've been in an accident before where I was in a bus that actually flipped on its side. And I remember, like on a trip to Cuba.
Shit!
With university friends. And it was a bus that was just traveling too fast. And then I think when trying to negotiate a turn, it actually tipped on its side. And I do recall, like, in those moments of like the vehicle tipping, there's this, it almost feels like it happens slow-mo, but where you can actually everything, you just suddenly see everyone, like the look of panic on everyone's faces, and then everyone loses control, and the next thing you know, you wake up and then you're like 90 degrees to the side. So there's this, I can only imagine for the driver, even crazier, because she flipped over, her whole vehicle flipped entirely. And I don't know whether from what we read, she actually managed to climb out herself. She managed to open the door and climb out herself, which is luckily.
It definitely flipped, is it?
Yeah, you can see in the video, it flips like 180 into the hole. And thankfully, we also found out that actually the hole was dry when she flipped in. So that's why she was able to climb out, and with the assistance of the nearby workers at the construction site, they managed to pull her out. But it just looks so scary. I think everyone who watches the video probably imagines, like, what if I was in that situation? And I can only say that, you probably don't even have time to really react. Because some people I saw online were saying, why she go in? Why she just stop? Why did she just continue like revving on and just move past the sinkhole or what? But there's just too many things going on for her to possibly react so quickly. So it's quite a scary moment, man.
Yeah, and I remember I initially thought, I'm like, revving, but I take it back, because just watching the video over and over again, probably because it's one of those things that we all know sinkholes have happened in other countries. Some to very disastrous results, like the one in Malaysia, where up till today, right, I think the only thing found of that one lady who fell into a sinkhole is her footwear. We have no idea where she went. So with this, right, I think I would imagine I also would just be like, what the hell's happening? And I don't think I would have revved lah.
Yeah.
Even though my mind initially thought, I was like, oh, but you would have revved. Because it's just so weird. And I think in Singapore, you take a lot of things for granted. Driving, how often do you really think a sinkhole is going to happen?
Yeah.
Right. So this one is just nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like, thankfully she's okay, but that road is very busy, and apparently there was a double-decker bus just 2 cars behind.
Yeah. Wow.
Turning onto it. Can you imagine? Or can you imagine even in the car if there was a baby or an elderly person?
Yeah.
Could have been disastrous, you know?
Yeah, could have been.
Disastrous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, arising from that, PUB has put out a few statements. I mean, some commentators online are saying, why do we still not have answers yet? Because like, just looking, sinkholes can form in many ways. Sometimes the acidic rain can erode the rocks below, or maybe a burst pipe can erode the rocks below or the soil below. This one, yeah, it has been put on Straits Times that it was dry when she fell in. Because I think there was also some residents from around the area saying they noticed a burst pipe from the night before. So there's some speculation. My initial thought was that it was because of the water from the burst pipe that softened the soil that caused the sinkhole, but apparently not.
Yeah.
It was when the sinkhole happened, there were 2 other pipes that burst, which caused water to gush into this.
Yep.
I think the one thing that has come out is that it was due to the collapse of a shaft 16 meters below the surface, a sewage shaft that was meant to connect 3 other sewage lines. So that has been paused, and the PUB has paused similar works all around Singapore.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those things that my initial thought, because I have family around the area, and there is the new MRT that opened up, Tanjong Katong station, that opened up end of last year.
Yeah.
And before that, for a few years, there was so much digging there. But this was digging by the PUB for sewage works. So it's totally separate from the MRT. And it just like, you look at it, it feels like there was a huge cavity there. Of course, it might have been layers underground that collapsed, and then this whole thing just shifted vertically downwards.
Yeah.
But you're like, how the hell did that happen, man?
Yeah. I think you're correct that it is a sinkhole, and we have seen it happen in Malaysia. But actually, as recent as the end of 2022, there was a sinkhole at along Farrer Road also. But the good thing about that one was that there were no cars affected or injuries whatsoever. So they closed off the road, and there was they spent a bit of time to repair and everything. But sinkholes do happen in Singapore. So it wasn't a matter of if, but more of a matter of when there would be a sinkhole incident where a car actually falls in.
Yeah.
But what do you think of all like specifically Bertha Hansen saying that not enough information is coming out of the PUB and all to address what's going on here?
I mean, that one I feel is a bit harsh, because I would imagine that investigations are still going on.
Yeah.
And I think she started posting yesterday, right? I mean, to me, I would give it a few days. Thankfully, there has been a lot of coverage on this.
Yeah.
And even when, I think it was the PUB that put out a statement thanking the SCDF people who rescued the lady, which has now been revealed to be the construction workers themselves.
Yeah.
Specifically, I believe there is one individual, foreman, Pichai Udayapan Subaya. Shout out to him, who was the foreman on the site who directed his colleagues to, for example, throw the rope down instead of one of his colleagues going down.
Yeah.
Who was something that one of his colleagues suggested, and he said, and I quote, "You go down, you also cannot climb up." So it was quick thinking, and she got out quite fast,
Yeah.
And you see the video. The way they pulled her out and retreated, I think there was a real risk of the sinkhole expanding.
Yeah.
So pure heroics from them. So, I would say calls for more info from PUB. I don't know, man. This is not one of those instances where I feel like, hey, there's so many questions that are yet to be answered, because it's still short notice for me, for you.
She does raise a point that, yes, there's a need for time for it, but shouldn't PUB be more proactive in this whole thing, as opposed to issuing statement after statement after statement that can get lost in what you say, all the different statements from different parties? Shouldn't PUB come forward with a press conference, put a face to to the organization and try and provide as many answers as they can, and give reporters and online media, whatever, a chance to ask questions directly. Even if they don't have the answers, at least it feels like, okay, they are taking this very seriously and not trying to, push it aside or not trying to just attribute it to someone else, some other party. Because I guess what she's not saying that PUB is trying to siam any kind of accountability. She's just saying that it doesn't feel like they're doing enough to proactively reassure Singaporeans and road users especially that the roads around the area are safe. Because it's not even just road users. I think the Straits Times were talking to a lot of residents of condominiums around Amber Road, right? And there is concern, right? There are even F&B businesses nearby who are like, there are people who made reservations at my restaurant who cancelled because they're afraid to drive into the area, right? And they're not even close by or anything. So there are businesses and people and residents around the area who are being affected, who could do with a little bit more information and more assurance rather than Facebook updates, that not everyone will read.
Yeah, I mean, that is true because I think everybody understands that it will take time, but like what you're saying is that having a face to it would help. Hey, I mean, she pointed out that, there's been talk about waiting for Parliament. Has there been anything publicly that has been said by PUB or anyone that we will discuss this in Parliament?
No, but I'm sure it will be, right?
Yeah.
But right now, only Goh Pei Ming and Goh Tze Ki have made statements about it in front of the cameras. Yeah. And I think the reason is also because it's sort of, the area kind of sits between Marine Parade, Braddell Heights GRC and Mountbatten SMC, I believe. That's why both of them are involved. At first I was wondering why is it MPs from two different districts, but I guess it's kind of like it's an overlap of both sides.
Yeah, so I mean, it's true in this sort of situations because it's such a shock to Singapore, right? Which is why it probably went viral. Then how the hell does this happen? And I mean, I think anyone who lives in Singapore, they know that a lot of construction has been happening. Like, have you gone past the center part of Singapore for the Cross Island line?
Cross Island line.
Cross Island. No, there's one huge expressway that's being built around, like anywhere from Yio Chu Kang to Ang Mo Kio. You see this is like way more than like MRT construction.
Okay.
And the construction there is insane.
Yeah.
So then you hear anecdotes about how certain areas, I think the separation between an expressway and an MRT line is like 37 centimeters of concrete. When you see this sort of sinkhole things, it could dent the confidence of people in underground structures. When nothing happens, you see all this digging, you're like, okay, everything's under control.
Yeah.
When one of these things happen, if the citizen confidence in these sort of things is how you say, the integrity is impacted a bit, right? That could be a huge problem.
Yeah. That's why I think Bertha has a point that there should be more proactive communication and proactive understanding that this isn't just something that they can just issue a statement and then it goes away, right? People will be asking questions in the coming few days, few weeks, leading up to Parliament as well. And they might as well, at least get out there and show that they are really taking it seriously.
And even, the example you gave, the Farrer Road one, right? Apparently that was also caused by works relating to the deep tunnel sewerage system.
Yeah.
So the sewage system is causing shit to hit the fan, man.
Yeah. But I mean, do you feel like this has any bearing on the brand of Singapore as well? Because I mean, admittedly, when all the sinkholes were happening up north in Malaysia, right? A lot of Singaporeans online were making kind of snide remarks, only in Malaysia or Malaysia boleh, that kind of stuff, right? But this happening in Singapore now, I'm seeing actually people are posting it on Reddit as a
international
damn, that's interesting subreddit kind of thing, of watching a car fall into a sinkhole like that.
Yeah.
Do you think this damages the brand of Singapore as a safe place where the ground that you walk on will never buckle below you?
I think a little bit.
Little bit. It's just like that, only dented.
I mean, because that's the thing, right? Singapore, we have set the bar so high, right?
Yeah.
That when something happens like this, everybody's like, oh shit. Which is why like there was one restaurant owner, like the restaurant I think is like at least 600 meters away.
Yeah.
They had 2 cancellations on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I can imagine the cancellations being like, oh shit, what's the area around? The condo right next to the sinkhole. The residents are apparently going to fund their own inquiry into like the geography of the area.
Independent assessment. And apparently they have to pay for it themselves.
Yeah. Because I mean, I guess the government can't come and do it for them because they're private, right?
Yeah.
Right. But you can imagine the fear, like they're right next to it. This sinkhole, a small thing, is it like a signal for the rest of the land? Even though it might be totally fine, but people already start having that fear.
Yeah.
I don't know whether the property prices have dipped around the area. I don't know. And I don't know whether that area is reclaimed. I think that was one of the questions that Bertha also pointed out, right? Yeah. Just questions like, is this reclaimed land? Well, what's going on? Because I mean, I think Farrer Road, there was another sinkhole a few years later or prior to that also. So not say sinkholes are absolutely foreign to Singapore. It's just very uncommon,
Yeah.
But it does have lead to questions.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that also people are wondering, like, because as a comparison, remember the SMRT breakdowns last year, right? The very long breakdowns. In some way, the then Transport Minister, Chee Hong Tat, he was very much the face, right? He wore the white construction cap, was on the ground quite a lot, even late into the night. And then giving a lot of details about what happened and what recovery efforts are underway, and explaining why they couldn't get the thing up to back on track that quickly, right? So frustrated as people might have been about the situation back then, there were also a lot of positive stories that came out of it. Positive stories of the SMRT workers who were working through the night to clean up to fix everything, and then how much time and energy was being sacrificed to do it, right? So in some ways, you can actually even see that SMRT walked away with a better image, right? From that incident. So I guess that's why Bertha is also kind of advising PUB, like, maybe you should really try to really, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? And really try to do a better job of the comms, such that people actually walk away with confidence in the PUB and not like still having questions about, is this reclaimed land? Is it because of rainfall or things like that, right? Right? Seize the narrative rather than wait for people to dig stuff up themselves.
Yeah, I mean, the Straits Times is doing their part.
Yeah.
As of July 27th, so a day after, they published this random article. Do you see?
It's about Japan, is it?
1,100 cave-ins, cavities on Japan's highways in 10 years. Over 40% triggered by pipe damage.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any mention of Singapore, but it just feels like, why are you publishing this article? Is it to normalize that in all first world cities, cave-ins and sinkholes happen?
Yeah.
So don't complain.
Yeah.
It just felt like a very weird article. I guess, I think we shouldn't have to wait till Parliament. If you think about it, Parliament is going to only sit in September, which is still more than a month away.
Yeah.
There has to be something, and maybe a press conference is warranted.
Yeah. But the thing is, this is not under Ministry of Transport, right?
It's under technically LTA, and LTA is a stat board under Ministry of Transport.
Yeah. How about PUB? PUB would be under NEA, right? PUB
is under the Ministry of Sustainability and Environment.
Okay.
Yeah, which
let's see.
Yeah, and that is Grace Fu.
I believe so. Yeah,
Grace Fu. So I mean, for Jeffrey Xiao, acting Minister for Transport, cannot rest, man.
Yeah.
Cannot rest.
So there'll be a lot of work. I mean, last week or the last couple of weeks, people have been talking about COE. Now people are talking about sinkholes.
Yeah, sinkholes.
Yeah.
And of course on Reddit, they're like, wow, this is like, the whole Sinky. Sinky term for Sinky phone, Sinky. But yeah, so I mean, it just feels that there needs to be some sort of public comms. It can't just be these boards or organizations putting out statements.
Or even the MPs themselves, right? At the end of the day, because the MPs they're very focused on the municipal issues, like, water supply to their residents and stuff like that.
Which was cut off for some people.
Yeah, which was cut off. So they are very focused on that, but they I mean, as a layperson, I guess you want the minister who's in charge, who has access to all the experts and everything, to be the one giving you more information about what happened, right? As opposed to the localized MP who might not be in that position where all the experts report to him, right?
Yeah. Yeah, true. And that would be the Jeffrey Xiao and Grace Fu.
I suppose, the two of them. MMTF time. Let our powers combine.
Yeah. And then, the Marine Parade is helmed by, who's the anchor minister for Marine Parade? I guess.
Marine Parade?
Yeah, Seah Kian Peng.
Marine Parade, Braddell Heights.
Yeah.
Seah Kian Peng, Faisal Ibrahim.
And Goh Pei Ming.
I mean, Tin Pei Ling is part of it also.
Tin Pei Ling also. So, Goh Pei Ming, didn't have to work hard during GE 2025.
Yeah.
So now got extra work.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is crazy.
Yeah. And Diana Pang also.
Diana Pang, correct.
Forgot that.
So,
but yeah, maybe also time for Jeremy Tan to also step up and show like how he can help residents of Mountbatten also.
No, he focused on lifts. Lifts what? Yeah. Lifts. But now it's curious to know, because I think in other countries you can potentially sue someone, as the driver.
Yeah.
But now what's going to happen? Because I'm very curious about the recourse. I don't know whether insurance will cover these kind of things because it's seen as an act of God.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what I was reading, some people are speculating that this might not be seen as an act of God if you can tie it directly to something that an agency was doing.
Man-made
it's a man-made event, right?
Yeah.
And it's for insurance hopefully will pay for the vehicle cost or whatever for the person and
because the vehicle pretty wrecked.
Yeah, it's wrecked. It's done.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah.
But then after that, it might be for the insurance company to go and pick it up with the PUB or what. Or depending on who is actually liable for this.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the suing thing happens in Singapore.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Something will obstruct that.
Yeah.
But thank God the driver is safe.
Yeah.
I would like to hear from her.
Yes.
Yeah, this is just so wild, man.
I think that's the hottest interview in town now if anyone can get it.
Yeah, that's like PM Wong.
Pritam Singh, whatever.
The driver who fell into the sinkhole.
What did you see? How did it feel?
Yeah, that's like a one of one. I don't think there's been a driver who has fallen into a sinkhole in Singapore before.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
One of one.
The Nicole Highway collapse did happen, right? So not that one was a much bigger thing than the sinkhole.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of lives are lost in that one. But this one, where someone has survived to tell the tale and seems to be okay, not too bad shape.
Yeah.
But again, I think we should shout out to the construction workers who really rescued the person. I can only imagine in that situation, they also are
their lives are,
what the hell is going on? But they put their lives at risk to rescue the person.
Yeah.
Because if it was me or anyone, I think most people, the moment you see the sinkhole there, you're running away from it already, right? And you don't know whether there are other sinkholes forming around the area. You want to get out as soon as possible. But they really stepped up and rescued the lady, which, a couple of months ago, there were also these foreign construction workers who rescued those kids who were caught in a burning shop house along River Valley or so.
Yeah.
Again, they put themselves at risk and used their ingenuity to rescue the kids out of their own accord, right? So really shout out to them. Those are the people that deserve National Day awards.
Yeah, man.
They should be at the parades and people should be applauding them.
Yeah. And even to quote Mr. Subaya, when he was asked how he felt during the rescue, I was scared, but every feeling was that this woman must be rescued first. At the end of everything, I felt thankful that we had saved her life. To me, the fact that someone had fallen in, no matter what happened, we had to rescue her as quickly as possible. That was our thinking, and that was the determination and urgency with which we rescued her.
Yeah.
Walao, how badass, man.
Yeah.
And to him and his teammates, really thank you all so much for doing what you all do. Without hesitation.
Yeah, maybe we should talk to them or at least the foreman on the podcast also.
Yeah.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah.
I can get his perspective.
Maybe the foreman and driver should start a podcast of their own.
Yeah, maybe. I think SCDF is trying to get in touch with them to be able to award them and thank them for their help. Yeah.
Wow, solid. Yeah. Insane. And you watch the video, you can tell the moment they pull the woman out, they are all retreating because like what you said, right? You'd never know how this could expand. Whether it was like a piece, just a tip of the iceberg. But yeah, man, crazy, crazy.
Yeah. But speaking of these kinds of disasters or disruptions, right? Another recent piece of news came out about that particular SMRT breakdown that we just mentioned earlier, the East-West line disruption from last year. What is this news that a lot of people are expressing a lot of shock about?
Is that following the announcement by LTA, LTA busy, in June, that it would slap SMRT with a $3 million Singapore dollar fine after an investigation into the 6-day disruptions last September. The latest announcement is that after hearing the appeal from SMRT, they have reduced it to 2.4 million Singapore dollars. And they said this on Friday, July 25th. And they've also directed SMRT to invest a minimum of $600,000 to strengthen its capabilities and address areas of improvement to boost reliability. And the $2.4 million penalty will go to the Public Transport Fund to help lower income families with their public transport expenses.
Yeah.
So I guess the discussions online and on Facebook comments and all is about, but how come it's being reduced? Because the disruptions were quite significant. Why is it being reduced? And of course, there is some talk that ultimately this is left pocket, right pocket, because the Public Transport Fund issues public transport vouchers, which they disperse to lower income families. So in some way, the $2.4 million is going to this fund, which would then go to lower income families who would then use the money to pay for public transport, which means the money comes back to SMRT or the operators of public transport, which feels like, okay, that's interesting. Yes, there is a directive to invest a minimum of $600,000 to strengthen its capabilities, but is that the best way to use the fine?
Yeah.
Feels like, I don't know, a bit odd.
Yeah, people are saying online, why can't the full fine just go to maintenance of the train, right?
Yeah.
To prevent an incident like this from happening again. I mean, I get the intention of helping low-income people with their transport fees, but like you say, people trace where the money eventually ends up and then goes back towards SMRT.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, have both. It's good that they contribute.
Yeah.
But how individuals sometimes penalized with you do jail time or this, but you also have community service.
Yeah.
Have both.
Correct. Yeah.
Why is it all going towards a fund that ultimately the funds would be kind of ultimately end up in some aspect of your own ecosystem?
Yeah. And I think people are also a bit puzzled, right? They say if you're going to there's a lot of talk that this 3 million fine, like what you mentioned, say allegedly left pocket, right pocket, and just paying fine to own self, right? That kind of thing. There's already all these perceptions of it, right? Then you reduce that slap on the wrist by $600,000, which in the larger scheme of the cost of maintaining a train or the cost to SMRT, or even in the larger scheme of what the salary of a top executive would be at SMRT and all that, it's such a small amount, right?
Yeah.
It's such a small amount that you reduce the amount, but the optics of it just come out so much more worse than what that amount actually entails, right? So why even bother to reduce that amount if it's going to be just by such a small amount, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's really you just need to send a signal that it's not SMRT's fault. But if it's SMRT's fault, then the whole fine should be in question, not reduced by a small amount, right?
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at the reasons that led up to the fault, because it was a mechanical fault.
Yeah.
But it was hampered in some way by COVID. But basically, okay, what SMRT didn't do was that this was the last phase of the Kawasaki Heavy Industries trains, and there was a plan to replace all of them with the newer Mavia trains. But because of COVID, that handover got delayed. But that also meant that all the trains were, I think, due for overhaul. But at the point of this train delay, only 18 trains were overhauled. and the affected train was not part of those 18. And I think there was a decision made to not overhaul it at a certain point in time, which was a fault on SMRT's part, which I think they acknowledge. But given that there is an actual miscalculation or a strategic error, it does feel like, hey, that is a legit issue. You can't just blame it all on COVID.
Yeah.
So that's why, like what you're saying, the optics of it is like, why? And it just feels, I mean, okay, this is not final. I think the minister can still reverse this decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is not final. I don't know when that will happen, but it just feels like if you want to talk about instilling confidence of citizens in public transport, in the grand scheme of things, reducing this, it feels like the downside is way more than what the $600,000 amount is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, SMRT CEO pay, if you just type into Google, they go back to Desmond Quek from 2016, the amount of his pay was 1.87 million.
And in 2016.
2016. So the $600,000, like I said, it's not a significant, not a significant amount to SMRT as an organization, because it's literally just part of it's less than what the bonus they pay to the top executive in the organization, right?
Yeah.
So why do it and risk the ire and scrutiny of the general public?
Yeah, and I mean, we personally know, I'm someone on our team also was impacted by this, right? People who live in the West.
Yes.
By these delays, because it was quite significant. It was over 6 days.
Yeah.
6 days, but then it's a $2.4 million fine. And I mean, even then, I think it is more the reduction.
It's the reduction that's the issue. I think the amount, I think everyone kind of okay, the amount is the amount. But why this act of reducing it, as if to say that they are less culpable than what they actually were found culpable of?
Yeah, because I mean, the LTA announced that the reason why they reduced it was in part due to SMRT explaining that there were delays on new train arrivals caused by COVID-19.
Yeah.
But I mean, any job, there's only so much that you can blame on COVID. Right? And it just feels like, okay, the whole world was dealing with it, but not everybody gets their punitive measures decreased.
But maybe because if you have to pay more fines, then there have to be fair increases. Do you want fair increases, Harish, as a commuter?
But like what we said, right, in the grand scheme of things, $600,000. I don't know what the annual revenue for SMRT is. Yeah. We can find out in a minute. But it feels like a tiny amount.
It's peanuts, Harish. It's peanuts.
It's peanuts.
I mean, if you know, you know what the reference is.
I don't know. What's that?
Back then, there was a very big furor during the whole NKF, when they talked about the pay for NKF TT Durai those years ago, when there was the defamation lawsuit, and a statement was made by a very prominent member of the establishment, right, or the wife of someone who's very prominent in the establishment, who said that $600,000 for the pay of TT Durai was peanuts.
Oh, wow, that one is a long time ago. If you know.
Yeah, but $600,000 is a very significant figure that still, people my age and older still remember. Was very lovingly referred to as peanuts.
Okay, so I mean, I just found SMRT trains key financial data. So for financial year 23-24, SMRT's revenue increased 9%, or basically 73.5 million to 886.7 million, with profit being $6.2 million. Earnings, I mean, SMRT trains recorded a narrow profit margin of 7.5 million.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 7.5 million revenue of 880 plus million. Yeah, I mean, you can argue $600,000 is almost like 10% of their profit. But again, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge number,
Yeah.
And I don't know how much it would impact like fare increases and all. It is more the fact that, and this is the day before another aspect of Singapore's transport system had a fucking sinkhole.
Yeah.
So Jeffrey Xiao is busy.
He's busy. Yeah.
Is busy. Can you imagine like Friday, he's like, I just want to enjoy my weekend.
Yeah.
Saturday, it is on, boom.
And then Sunday, invite from Yalabat to come on podcast. Wow, he's got to set his priorities.
Catch a break or not? Guys? But yeah, I think it's like the biggest thing is like it's not clear why it was reduced, especially when the $2.4 million fine is ultimately going to come back to you because it's going to be counted as revenue.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
So, and there's no two ways about it. Okay, you can argue some of that public transport fund might go to bus, which is not SMRT.
SPS. Yeah.
So even if a percentage of that, even if 25% of that comes back, is 600,000. So I don't know, man. It's like, when we talked about the penalties for certain road offences being decreased.
Yes.
When you look through logic, you can understand. I guess that makes sense. But the message it conveys is like, we are being more lenient with road offences.
Yeah.
So then it becomes like, wow, that's not a good thing, lah.
Wow, this episode is like 100% about transport and all that. Right?
Transport, man. Transport.
Busy week for Mr. Jeffrey Xiao. Huh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, life still has to go on.
Yes.
I think this is just screaming for Parliament to come back, lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, so let's talk about happier things.
Yes.
What is your One Shiok comment?
You have yours?
Yes, I do. Over the weekend, as I mentioned, we attended the World Aquatics Championships, the high diving event. So someone who DM'd me on my personal IG also, like not yellow, but saying, hey, I saw you at the high diving event. It was a little loud, so I didn't say hi. But thanks for sharing about the World Aquatics event on the podcast. It gave me a final push to go there with my kid. And it was definitely worth it to be part of this world event, even under the hot sun. So I was like, yeah, I mean, it's amazing, that there are listeners who listen to our One Shiok Things or our rants about things and listen to our One Shiok Things. And they are influenced to go out there and do things with their family as such and partake in very, very interesting things that are happening right under our noses in Singapore, right? So I think receiving this message was great because it made me feel like a real KOL, key opinion leader and influencer. I go to a place, people see me there, then they're like, wow, I also want to go and all that.
You influencer, huh? Influencer.
But yeah, no, I mean the World Aquatics thing was really quite.
And it's still going on, It's still going on.
Still going on. Now it's a lot of the swimming events. I think we're starting to see some records being broken by our national swimmers and all that as well. Right? So yeah, don't miss it. I've been to 2 events and they've both been quite something. Yeah.
So my One Shiok Thing.
One Shiok Comment.
One Shiok Comment.
Yeah.
Is on the subreddit for the episode 693 about the petition against relocation of Geylang East Library.
Yeah.
So on the subreddit, there were 2 comments by Internet Lurker 96 and a response to that by Neptunera, who pointed out other aspects of why libraries moving to malls might not be ideal. For example, the smaller capacities, later opening time, because now they can only be open when the mall opens, right? And the fact that there are less resources means that it's going to be overcrowded at peak times, which you can imagine, because malls on weekends, right, are nuts.
Yeah.
And Internet Lurker also provided another analogy. There is a similar concept with how the LTA has been proactively relocating standalone bus interchanges to malls or integrated developments where possible, which is more convenient. But because there is limited space, there is less parking berths for buses. So they pointed out that in I think one of the bus interchanges in Sengkang, which only has 16 parking lots for 8 bus services, the other 2 routes have to loop in the interchange because they can't park.
Yeah.
So I never thought about it that way, that if you move a library to a mall, it is going to be subject to all the constraints that a mall has.
Yeah.
And a big part of it is opening and closing hours.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that resources, it might be more compressed, and it's like a cafe. It's always going to be packed, and malls in Singapore on weekends are nuts. So I thought that was an interesting perspective.
I mean, it also goes back to the lack of third spaces in Singapore, right?
Yes.
Where, if everything, like you say, is around the mall, and if the mall is always packed, you also don't want to be there, right? You can't relax. You can't, just get away from the hustle and bustle. You're always part of it, right? I think there's some truth to that. I think some people have really, they've been quite vocal, even in YouTube comments about the issues that they took with what we were saying about that libraries have to go that way, right? And I think those are all valid. It's a very interesting discussion, but there are a lot of different perspectives on this as well. So I recognize that was just our perspective that we share on our podcast. But like some of these residents of Geylang East, they also have their perspective, which I think is interesting, and people should debate about these things. On Reddit or what also.
And I mean, another example of how they kind of countered what we said, I think you or I or both of us said that the nice thing about having it in a mall is that if you want to take a break from shopping, you go there, you can browse, but then you're taking up space from someone who might actually want to go there and read or study or work. And like if people just want to go there and chill with aircon that you don't need to pay, then it kind of suffocates the space.
But who prioritizes like which is more important?
What do you mean?
Like which is more important? A student going there to sit there and study for 8 hours, or a casual person, a casual goer, who in between his meetings or whatever just drops in and finds a piece of Singapore literature that looks quite interesting. The cover looks nice. Maybe I'll try reading it. That kind of thing. Also, I mean, which one is more important for the development of?
Terence, if you think about the utility, a child goes there. If there is one more spot in a library that is available, there can be more utility from a child going there because they represent the future of Singapore. We are all about utility. Okay, and we have no space for empathy or compassion unless you can combat it with economic principles.
No, I say that also because at the Nimbus event, I went there to speak on a panel. But I took a walk outside to see all the booths outside, which featured like New Narrative and Plan B and all, and Ethos books also. And I had just recently, you and I both recently read an Ethos book, which was an Ethos book publication, which was Walid's book. I also read This Is What Inequality Looks Like recently. And because I saw those books there, then I saw all the other books all lined up with their nice covers and all that. I picked up a book that I typically would never probably read in my lifetime, right? And it's just that short 3 to 5 minute interaction with the books laid out in front of me that made me like, hey, maybe I should try, since I like what they've published, like what their philosophy is about publishing. So isn't that
okay? So then maybe the prerequisite is if you go to the library, you cannot sit down there and use your phone.
Okay.
Use your phone, you fuck off. You need to peruse a book.
No phones.
No phones. But yeah, so interesting comments. What about your One Shiok Thing, man?
My One Shiok Thing is a CNA insider documentary that came out recently. I think there's part of this series called Pause with Purpose, about Singaporeans who leave Singapore. Were Singaporeans facing crossroads in their personal and professional lives, embark on potentially life-changing experiences abroad to search for inspiration and answers. So it's a documentary about, this one was in particular about Edwin, a guy in his mid-40s who has decided to leave Singapore and to start a business in somewhere near Mount Fuji in Japan. And the thing is that he doesn't speak Japanese at all. So you watch the show, he actually leaves and he buys an Akiya, which is one of those abandoned homes in the countryside. And then he does DIY to the whole house and just fixes up the whole house to make it livable for himself. And also at the same time starts a rental car business in Japan.
Oh, shit.
Without speaking a smidgen of Japanese. So this whole documentary is about 45 minutes long, but it's just about Edwin's whole journey. His whole journey of doing research, buying the house, fixing it up, and then finding partners to work with in Japan. And I mean, it's not the happy ending that you might think of, right?
Oh, really?
I would say go and watch it, and just interesting to see how, I think, reflecting on what some people were saying when Fazri came on our podcast and talked about Singaporeans moving to Malaysia. I remember there were a couple of comments that said, like, in Singapore we seem to think like living and dying in Singapore is the only way in our lives, right? But this particular episode shows that there are Singaporeans who don't think of themselves as like, I'm going to live and I'm going to die in Singapore and just do and stay in my house forever in Singapore and upgrade to a condo, upgrade to a landed when I can and all. There are people who are saying, okay, if I'm not happy with how life is in Singapore, I will just drop everything and move over to Japan, find opportunities, find partners to work with, set up business. And he's there alone, his wife didn't follow him. He left his cats at home, everything. So it's just quite a very interesting perspective of the a Singaporean that is doing something quite un-Singaporean.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. And I mean, quite supportive comments also.
Yeah. And I think, if I don't know if his business is still running or what, but I guess if you want to rent a car near Mount Fuji, you might want to check out and support this Singapore business also.
Wow, solid. I'm guessing you got did you get served this because you've been watching a lot of Japanese camping videos or?
That plus, I mean,
CNN
Insider. Yeah. So I thought it would be one of those this guy goes to Japan and he does videos of himself doing up his house. But no, man, he's there actually starting a business and trying to make it sustainable. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Cool. My One Shiok Thing is a certain performer that I came across only because I'm hosting that event. Have you heard of DJ Think? Tinc?
No.
So she's a Singaporean DJ that has been DJing for a few years.
Okay.
And the cool thing about her is that, I mean, she plays, melodic tech house, trance music, but she also sings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the cool thing is on social media, when you see people post videos of her, right, the caption is normally like, you're partying, and you had no expectations of the DJ singing because she would play a few tracks and then she would go and sing and her voice is insane. And then she would come back to the DJ console and play the tracks. And yeah, she's pretty big. And I mean, I'm not into the trance scene or anything, but I think it's pretty cool. I didn't know we have a DJ like this.
And she is performing at your event?
Yeah, she's performing at the event.
Every week she's there.
Yeah, for next Saturday and the Saturday after that. And I was just standing there, I was like, holy shit, this is damn cool.
Nice.
And I mean, she has a lot of fans and she has show dates. I think in July 31st. I mean, she's performing at an NDP celebration, July 31st. So on Wednesday, she's performing at Madame Chu. I don't even know where is that. Yeah. But yeah, pretty epic.
Does she sing in English?
She sings in English and Mandarin.
And Mandarin, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you never asked her,
how can you never translate the text? Apologize, please.
No, I mean, I met her for the first time on Saturday. This Saturday, I'll ask her.
You ask her.
Just about your set.
Where's the subtitles?
Yeah, this is NDP, Huh? Why can't you sing in all 4 languages? Cannot, is it? Yeah, so that one we see. That one we see.
Oh, man.
But yeah, cool. Cool, man. Awesome. So thank you all so much for listening. Remember, if you're new to the podcast, please follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Reddit, Instagram, TikTok. Our community is growing everywhere, which is great.
Yeah.
And if you want to work with us,
check out ministryoffunny.com or email us at contact@ministryoffunny.com. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. And we'll talk to you all soon.
See you.